There we go. Okay. I got worried there for a second. The there's something weird with this computer and the USB and the video and stuff. It's getting a little weird. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Sorry about that delay and sorry about the blackout there. That's weird. Yes, I do need a haircut. So before you even mention it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night because I was up late playing around with this, and I was with my family the hours earlier. So yeah, I'm a bit frazzled, but I'm excited because we're going to be playing around with some stuff today. So the big thing on my desk, as you probably see now. Thank you, Christian. Good. Glad everyone can see and hear me. So I got a microscope, and I'm very excited because this is something that I've been saving up for a long time, and it wasn't cheap, but it is pretty darn cool. So very fancy, and I will be showing you around of how this works. I will also be talking to you about what I like about it and what I don't like about it, etc. But first off, thank you to everybody who's watching right now. We got almost 20 people here. Thank you. Just a quick brief update for those of you who aren't a patron or anything like that. Some things I'm working on right now. I'm working on my Macintosh clones video, so I just released a little snippet of that for my Patreon viewers. So if you are a patron, you could go check that out. It's exclusively for you guys. And what I need to continue doing is recapping these computers because they are not fixing themselves, and they need some work. And what I was able to do is I was able to fix one of my Macintosh classics earlier. So I did that last night, well, this morning technically, and that booted right up. Now, I have another Macintosh classic board. This is actually a classic 2 board. That's just a bodge wire, so I had to fix that. But this was sent in by the Macintosh librarian, so she has a spare Mackie that she needs fixed, and it was in pretty rough shape. We're making some progress on it. It's not working 100% yet, but there's some good progress on it, and we've cleaned it up a bunch. So probably won't be tinkering around with that today because there's a ground fault in there. So that means I have to go over the board very carefully and take forever looking at it. But yeah, so there's that, and then there's another one here. This is another classic 2 board I gotta fix. And let's see, where's the other one? Oh, the other one's in the classic machine itself. That's sitting right down there. So I have a bunch of those, and let me show you the rough looking one. Hold on. Yeah, I didn't neck the CRT, but let me show you something that is almost equally as terrifying. And did I misplace the board? How did I do that? Where'd it go? There was a gnarly looking board, and I put it somewhere. Oh boy, we're off to a good start, aren't we? Oh, there it is. This guy. This poor little guy. I did a live stream of opening up some of these, and yeah, let's look at it under the microscope. Because this had a battery that exploded, and well, it's mostly corroded on here. Now, this was ultrasonically cleaned, so it does look a lot better than it did, but this is purely a parts board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully move these boards over. The board on my desk now is a Macintosh 2CX board. We might look at that a little bit later. We have no set schedule. We'll see what we feel like. But let's see. I know it's a fancy new microscope. So this is an Amscope. I believe it's a S. I'll look up the model number because I want to talk a little bit about it. But let's first let me set up OBS. Oopsie, I didn't. I didn't do that for my new microscope. I have to set up a new source thingy here. Let me do that. My apologies. Oopsie. How could I forget? Am I going to tinker with those Macs? That's all I do here. So yeah, that's That's what we're going to be tinkering with some Macs today and fixing them, trying to fix them, trying to repair them, trying to do that. Okay, so we got the webcam in the corner there. Why? Why is this microscope camera not detected? Let's see. Nope, that's me. Holy smokes, it's not showing up. That's weird. Let me just make sure the cable didn't fall out, which is entirely possible. Hold on, please. The cable is in there, I hope. Oops. Oh, very cool. Yes, I'm sorry I didn't get to see your script just yet. As you can tell, I'm a little bit busy, but I will get to it. And it'll be fun to pull out those machines. And I must warn you, those machines are not in the best condition. So if you're looking for some pretty things, you may not get exactly that. But all right, let's try this again. Hey, all right, we got some. Oh, you lost your 2SI to a battery explosion. Oh, that's horrible. Ooh, that's rough. It'd be nice if you guys could see the microscope. Hold on, please. Let's see if we can fix this. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, let's add that in. I had to just unplug it, plug it back in. Things are weird sometimes. Things are very weird. So let's fix that up. We're just trying to get the microscope's camera to work here, which we should be getting in a second. Once there we go. Okay, and I think that's it. Let me just add my microphone here, just so when I switch over to this scene, nothing breaks, because that would be bad. All right, let's see if this works. Boom. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's not bad. All right, so let's fix this a little bit, because you don't need to see all of me. I'm not the star of the show here. All right, cool. So let me make your chat box a little bit bigger, so I can actually read what you guys are saying. My apologies. But we got 28 people here. Hello, friends. Welcome. Welcome. All right. All right, so let's just catch up on the chat here. Peace from Germany. Well, hello from New Jersey then. Yes, I'm very glad my CRT is not necked. Yes, the board is very crusty. I have a fancy new microscope, yes. I'm going to be tinkering with some Macs. Mac84s are awesome. I have to recap them because they're all broken. So it's not a matter of if they're broken, they are broken. Oh boy, you've been on a soldering kick. That's awesome though. Relaxing on a Sunday. That's nice. It's always nice. Ooh, yeah. Clock batteries are very bad. Hello, Mike. Welcome. Hope you had fun yesterday. Sorry I couldn't make it. Yes, the Mac Pro hopefully is not catching on fire, although the USB card is a little wobbly inside. Alrighty, so, are you guys ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? First off, let's take a look. Now, I will warn you that the way this microscope is operating, what you see on the camera is a little bit different than what I see. So I'm going to do my best to adjust things. So we're both seeing things, but it's important for me to visually see things. And yeah, so this is that crusty Macintosh Classic 1 board. And you can see some of these caps have already fallen off. It is nasty. Very nasty. And we could see a lot of nice detail. Yes, I know. This is very strange. I'm the less experienced, not as handsome looking American Bruce. Yeah, so this board is not going to be for recapping purposes. This board is going to be for stealing chips off of, because most of the chips look okay, actually. With the exception, of course, of the poor little processor here. Oh my goodness. Well, honestly, every single Macintosh computer, let's say before the PowerPC age of 1994, has likely leaked or is starting to leak now. So, in my personal opinion, all these machines need recapping. I've lost too many machines just sitting around there. I have a Quadra 840 AV that was just sitting around, didn't have a speck of damage, and the thing is rotted. So, yeah. And look at those beautiful traces. Now, let's see the magic of magnification. And we'll have to adjust, of course. But look at that dirt. Ugh. That is horrible looking, isn't it? Isn't it? Yuck. Focus! Let's see. What else can we look at here? Because this is just... Ugh. Yeah, so let's show you what what these traces should not look like. Yes, this is the lunar surface. So this is as far as I could zoom in here, and you could just see how awful some of these traces are, and it just no, it's caked, beyond caked. Ugh. It gets sick looking at this stuff. So, yeah, this is a very, very good example of a board that is just bye-bye. Yes, this is all from the battery, as you could see, because the big hint here, ladies and gentlemen, is there is no battery. It had melted itself off of the board. So, yeah, it went bye-bye. And, just let's look at some of these pads here. Just like, I mean, this is good like desktop wallpaper here, because if you want to wake yourself up in the morning, just look at that. That's some art right there. That is art. Yes, this is one of the machines I got from the recycling center in Brooklyn, and I knew they were not working, and I essentially got them for about $15-20 each. So it wasn't a surprise that they didn't work. I knew they didn't work, but yeah, that battery exploded pretty darn bad. And let's go to the text here. I want to show you what's cool. Is we could go to there we go, just to give you an understanding of how far this could zoom in, which is pretty cool. And there we go. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So this is a far better upgrade than the little dinky microscope on a stick that I've been using, which, to be honest, was an okay tool. It helped me a lot. It was 640 by 480 resolution, so it was very hard to see, and the lighting was terrible, so it was even harder to see. This I have a light on, so I could actually turn the light off and turn the light on, and the light helps a lot, so we're going to be leaving the light on. Exactly. For $15, I figured the case or the CRT or the floppy drive or whatever alone is worth the money, especially because these things are not getting any cheaper. So, and there's a close-up of the barcode. So, all right, I think we've had enough looking at garbage things. Well, thank you, Crazy Tech Reviews. And it was all possible from my generous patrons and my generous followers on YouTube, and me not spending money on stupid stuff. Although one could argue that this is not an investment, but I would say it is, because I'm going to be probably recapping machines until many years into the future. But let's take a look at let's see what we can do here. So I have a Classic 2 board. One of these is Mike's. I forgot which one is which, but we'll give him a working one, right, Mike? One of these Classic 2 boards does not work, and hey, you use what you got to use. I had the little dinky camera, and I used it. And you know what? I am a strong proponent of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and you use what you got to use. So that's what I've been doing. And you know what? That lasted me for a while. The cube did work. All right, so Mike and I have a curse going on, because whenever I give him a machine that I say works, and we test it at my house on this desk, and it works, then he brings it home, And it doesn't work. I think when he crosses the state line, there's some magic that happens. So that's not on me. That's on a curse that a witch put on us. I think that's what's happening. But yeah, that's what I say right before I go and buy something stupid. So anyway, let's focus here. This is a Classic 2 board, and for all intents and purposes, we'll say this is Mike's Classic 2 board because why not? And this got some scunge on it, and it's your words, not mine, Mike. And I don't think this one actually boots. I think we get like a checker pattern on it. But you could see that here's some of the capacitors here, and we're gonna zoom in on some stuff here. Hey, those Macs were a good value, so I have no regrets on that. So you can see when these leak, they get all sorts of crummy stuff around them, and that is because this right here, this is all electrolytic juice that leaked out, and all these little hairs and stuff are sticking to that. So you can see that this is clearly leaked, and it has corroded and all this fun stuff, and has leaked all over these chips too, which is great. So we have to desolder these chips and clean out what's under them, because oftentimes there are important traces that are under there that we just can't see. We don't know. Why, thank you. Yes, I'm very glad. The scope is looking so nice. Now, I can only see out of one eye, so with this, because the way this microscope is set up is there are two eyepieces, and then there's this third part for the camera. Now, what I did not notice is while I was purchasing this microscope, there are two models. One is $70 more than this one. And for the price I paid for this darn thing, it's $70 is like a drop in the bucket. So it's like, whatever. But I purchased the one that, unfortunately, to use the camera, I sacrificed one of the visions from the eye, which means I can't see in stereo and I can't see the depth of things. But there's a switch. So if I push this switch in, you'll see the camera image goes away on the video camera. But if I pull it back, it comes back. So essentially, if I do that switch, I could see in stereo, but you can't. Now, there's a different model of this, which is essentially just this piece that's a little engineered differently, that does allow me to do that. So I've contacted the manufacturer. Their website is kind of a mess. It's meant for professionals. It's not meant for hobbyists. They're not really user-friendly of, hey, this is what this does, this is what that does. It's all spec sheets. And I had added the right one to my cart, and then I went to go check out, and their website went down for maintenance or whatever. Came back, the cart was empty. I added it again. I added the wrong one. Doesn't help that they have the same pictures on their product descriptions. But I sent them a nice thing. Hopefully they'll be responsive. They have what looks like a fairly decent return and exchange policy. So we will see how that goes. I'm sure you could find it aftermarket. I've just not found any place locally that can do that. Now, the headpiece itself is about $300, $400, I believe, if you bought that separately. Now, of course, this has this whole arm that it's sitting on. The camera's extra. The adapter for the camera is extra. The LED light is extra. The lens I'm using on this is extra. So it all just goes upwards from there. And, you know, me thinking, oh, this is only be a few $100s. It's not so bad. Ballooned very, very quickly. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. But the results, I think, are hopefully worth it, especially if I could fix up these machines. Yes, it is like buying Apple products. It is very similar to the one Bruce uses. Same brand, same level of magnification. His is a bit fancier. I believe his of course, doesn't have the visual issue mine does, which hopefully I will rectify. But very same type of scope. He recommended it to me. Same with Jay. Jay has the same one. So, yes, I will get to the restoration. You gotta calm down. No, we're not being pushy here. It's a relaxing Sunday, man. Harshin my chill here. Harshin. Harsh. Alright, so, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take a look at these capacitors here. And I'm actually going to move this in a way where I can actually access this. Yeah, you know, my eyes aren't feeling too great sometimes with this thing too. But all right, so I'm gonna just make this OBS window a little bit larger so I could see what I'm showing you guys easily. And all right, so we're gonna put some flux around these caps, and we're gonna get them the heck out of this board. How about that? All right, so I'm still just warning to you guys. What I see through the microscope is a wider field of vision, and what you see on the camera is like in the center of that. So if for some reason you can't see what I'm seeing, that's my bad. I'm still getting used to this. So, yeah. And the white balance is not perfect. I have to set that correctly. I just have not had a chance to figure that out. The documentation of this product leaves a lot to be desired. So let's just say that. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting flux on the capacitors. This will help us get those crusty things off of this board. Okay. And let me just do this a little bit. Now, I will be moving the boards in and out of the microscope vision just because it's easier. I'm going to work on the left side of the board first, then we'll work on the right. Let me get my tweezers. Very important. Okay. And, yeah, what I'm going to do here is try and get these caps off. So, I'm going to use the heat gun here. Now, I don't like... I do have some clearance with the microscope here. Let me see if I can raise it up a little bit. If I do, it gets out of focus, unfortunately. No, that's not too bad. Yeah, so I don't want it to be... I don't want the heat gun to be like too close to the lens here, because I might have to return part of this unit here, and I don't want to get it all messed up. But so if I move things away, you understand why. All right, let's get to it. Oh, I wish you could smell that. That's one off. Oh, boy. Smelly, smelly, smelly. This is a classic 2 board. That is correct. Okay. Ugh. Look at all that crap under there. See, that when people say, oh, no, it doesn't need a recap, yeah, it kind of does. It looks like crap under there. Oh, boy. Look at all that old flux and cap juice and, ugh. Delicious sandwich. All right, let's move on to the next 4 here. And get these off the board. Oh, boy. Yeah, and the thing is, all this stuff under there is always problematic in my experience. I've once in a while removed one where I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. But, good morning, Kate. This is not your board, don't worry. This is a different Classic 2. This one has more dirt on it, I assure you, than yours. But we did show off your board. That is something I'm still trying to work on. But good morning to you. Where'd Mackie go? Where'd he go? Oh, he's hanging about on the desk behind me. We'll say hello to him in a little bit. If I could get... There we go. There he is. Hello. Watch the Macintosh Librarian's videos. There we go. There's your plug. You didn't miss too much. We are removing caps from Macintosh Classic 2. This is Mackey's. That was Mackey's brother or sister. I don't think it was the real one. Hopefully not. All right, so let's clean some of this gunk off of this disgusting board here. And where'd my alcohol go? I kind of need that. There we go. I'm running low, but I still have some. Okay, so let's get some of this crap off of this board. Might be your end. I'm getting... I have like 200 dropped frames out of the past 20 minutes or so. Hopefully it's not me. Everything looks green on my side though, so... Not that you could hear that if you were having internet issues. Oh boy. Yeah, this is gonna need a good ultrasonic cleaning. Which I was making a video about, and I gotta finish that. Because I meant to show some cool things in it. But I obviously got distracted, as one does. But, ooh, yeah, look at... So I'm just taking some alcohol here on a cotton swab and just cleaning this up as best I can. This is not going to be the last cleaning I do to this spot, of course. Oh, you didn't get to see Baby Mackie. Well, I'm sorry, but here he is again. Whoop! Little cool 3D printed Baby Mackie. I don't know if I would clarify this as a comedy show, but you know, that is up to the viewers. I try to entertain. I try to make sure you're not all bored looking at the same thing, and there I go touching things without it being under the microscope. If that is your type of comedy, then cool. Ugh, look at that. Ugh, boy. Ugh, boy. No, I did not clean it before desoldering, so this has all the crap on it that originally came with it. What I'll do is if it's really bad, I'll take the caps off, and then I'll put in the cleaner, and then I will put the caps, new caps on. In this case, what I'll probably do is I'll put the new caps on, and then we'll put in the cleaner, and if it still has issues, we have to go further, but... The big problem that I've been experiencing personally with these boards, and you're gonna see it as I use this cotton swab on this chip here, is that cap juice has spread under these chips, and you can see that residue is under those chips. So let's do ourselves a favor here and zoom in, because now we can actually zoom in here. And let me just let me adjust the focus here, because it's gonna take me a bit to get used to this stuff, guys. Look at that. Now that is under the legs of these chips here. That is not good stuff. We do not want to leave that corrosive cap juice under there. And you can't really see that with your naked eye. You simply can't. So those of you who think, oh, I'll just, it's not doing any damage. Well, if the cap's already leaked, damage is already done. Stuff is already under those pads. Already under those chips. Hard to get to there. So, yeah, if you don't see that, that's the problem there. So if you're looking at this like here, you can maybe see, you know what, it's a little crusty over there. But sometimes you just gotta take the entire chip off and clean under it. That's not fun, but sometimes it is required to do. I mean, my whole stance on this is, if I'm gonna clean it, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it. I'm not gonna do a half-assed job and replace the caps and leave the goop all over the board under these chips. I've actually seen some people recap boards, and you could see the corrosion. Like, not anybody I know, but just people on the internet. You could just see some of the corrosion under these chips, and like, oh yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, no, you're gonna have to open that computer up and take the board out in another few months, because, oh boy. Oh yeah, iPhones are fun. They used to be easy to diagnose. I do it for family once in a while, but I wish I could help you on that. My brain does not remember if I was ever in that situation, and if I was, how to get out of that. But if anybody has some iPhone tips, Golden Panda is in need of your expertise. See, at least I could bring attention to your issue. Alright, so that's pretty nasty. I'm going to move on and take the caps off of the right side of the board, and then we'll see about removing those chips. Mac84's Munchies, come on down. We got some caps and we got some juice. Try our $5.99 guac and chips deal. I don't know what type of a restaurant that is, but I would not go there. All right, so this is the fun part where we have plastic right next to things. Don't worry, Kate. You haven't seen. You probably missed the bad board we showed. This is the board where a battery exploded. Look at that. So you thought yours was bad, Kate. Just, oh my. Just look at this beautiful mess. Ugh. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Yeah, so don't feel so bad. This is a goner. This is a parts board, but don't feel too bad. yeah, exactly. Ew. Anyone's familiar with the Ernest movies? Ew. It's only he can do it. All right. Local fast food chain there called Max. All right. I have no affiliation with them, but cool. All right. So what I'm going to do is put these... this is like a poor man's Bruce stream because I'm not explaining what I'm doing, but I have these little metal shields. I'm going to put them next to this cap so I don't melt off the floppy connector here as best I can. Same goes to the battery holder. These things do get a little hot when you're using the heat gun, so obviously you want to try and shield it as best you can. Science! Yeah, I'm not perfect with this stuff, but this is my board. It's not a customer's board or anything, so if I mess it up, I mess it up. Or did I say this was Mike's board? Oops. Sorry, Mike. He doesn't care as long as it works, I'm sure. I mean, who's going to be opening these things up? Not me. Not me. Hello, Jay. Welcome to the party, pal. Fancy scope. I know. Ah. Don't worry, my skills are still mediocre. the instruments have not changed in that regard. Oh boy. Yes, it's only a classic 2, nothing important. Well, we'll see if we could try and get this nasty cap out of there. How about that? Oh, come on. There we go. Quack. I can't do an eep, but I can do a quack. My eeps are reserved. Court order. Alright, so that cap is gone. We'll be cleaning these up in a second, but let's, oof. Yeah, there's this whole cluster here. This cluster is always fun, because there's so much plastic next to it. Let's see, where's my metal pieces here? There we go. Don't say that, Jay. She didn't mean it. That Mac had it coming. Alright. Let's get some of our flux here. Okay, one less cap on the board. Got These 3 are the only ones left.
And only 3 remain.
Alright. Ow. Metal is hot. Especially after you put a frickin' thing on it. Ow. 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 Will he learn his lesson? Obviously not. Obviously not. Who am I talking to? Oh boy. Nah. Stay. Please. That is crude. But should be okay, hopefully. Maybe. Alright. So, get these 2 caps off of here. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Alright, 2 left. One left.
And only 1 remained.
It is very satisfying. You know what's even more satisfying is watching this and not doing it yourself. Because you get to relax, have a snack. You know. I'm being a little scarce with my flux here because I only have a little bit left in the syringe. And I when that runs out, I got to order some, and it took weeks to get here. So that is somewhat on purpose, but it's getting the job done. So. Yes, I hope you're all having some snacks or some lunch or some breakfast or some dinner or some whatever. I'm not. I'm here. Right. Let's try this again. We've got one more cap to do. And the piece of metal I'm using is a little too thick. Let's try this one here. Ah! Alright. That should be okay. It's only an ADB port. We don't have to worry about it too much. What am I saying? What am I saying? Oh, this one smells horrible. Oh boy. I'm glad that's over with. I think Christopher is stealing Orlando's bit, but hello. We fight for the users around here. Don't worry about that. Right. Okay. So, got all the caps off. Now to clean this horrible mess that we made. Well, I didn't make it. The caps made it. Let's just blame it on them right away. Ugh. So what I like to do is just do a rough cleanup of this stuff. I mean, we're going to be cleaning this board to the end of time here, but at least try and get the initial splattering of the guts of these capacitors off of this board, because we don't like that. This will be cleaned in the ultrasonic cleaner eventually. But, ugh. Ugh. Just look at all that. Look at all that. Yes, it looks clean with the Q-tip. As soon as that Q-tip moves away, it gets dirty again. But it's like, oh my gosh, it's so shiny. This board does not work. It did. This board is part of the Liberty Science Center Museum in New Jersey. It was in service for about 20-something years. An exhibit required a Mac Classic to run. They had a total of 4 machines. 1 Classic, Maybe it was 2 Classics and 2 Classic 2s, something like that. Anyway, I replaced their machine with a desktop Mac, and I got this as payment, essentially. Which I thought was stupid, because they were just going to toss them out. But I'm like, you know what, I'll take the Macs. The CRTs had burn-in, the cases had writing all over it. They didn't boot up, one partially booted. But I said, you know what, let me just put it in my garage. And that's where they were sitting. But I took the boards out not too long ago. And, yeah. Let's see if we can get them to work. Because that'll be cool. But yeah, there's an exhibit at the Liberty Science Center, well, when it's open, called How Tall Are You? It's basically in the little kiddie section. And you stand under there, and a little computerized voice goes, "You are 5 feet 2 inches," or whatever. And that's the whole point of the exhibit. That's the whole thing. And an old Mac is running that. I actually have a backup of the software, because they didn't have one, so I made one. And it's currently running off of a Centris 650, which I have asked for them to give back to me, because that needs a recapping, most likely. But, yeah, because my brother worked there at the time, and he was in a meeting where he heard something about old Mac and not working, and he thought, oh, my brother could fix that. So that's how I got involved. And so I showed up with a backpack filled with like 3 power books and SCSI cables, and the security guard stopped me, and he was looking through my bag, and my brother runs up, and he's like, no, he's good. It's like, what bozo is bringing 3 power books and a bunch of SCSI cables into a museum? Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's the best museum or anything. I have fond memories because I used to go there as a kid. They have a cool IMAX theater, IMAX Dome theater, but I have not been there since I fixed the machine. Actually, I was given passes to go back. Maybe when they reopen, I'll go with some relatives or something. It might be fun. Well, yeah, it's about the 650. You know, there's a lot of different revisions. I think over the time when they were producing that model. I honestly don't know if it needs a recap, but in all honesty, I want my Mac back. I want to recap at least the power supply for it. And it's essentially on loan from me. We signed a document and everything. So yeah. All right. Yeah. This chip here needed some surgery on Kate's computer. Hopefully we don't need the same thing here. Now the bottom row of pins looks very nice, but you'll notice since the top is closer to where the capacitors were, if we do a zoom in here. Super zoom, you will see there's a whole lot of crud between these pads. I mean, look at that. Enhance. Yes, I love this zoom. It's pretty insane. So yeah, all this junk is between those pads, and I'm gonna show you the blade of my scalpel, and you'll see how zoomed in this is, but also. Yeah, ugh. Yuck. Yeah, so we will be using, yep, exactly, Trina. We will be using a toothbrush, but that might not get everything. So we may have to remove the whole chip, but let's try and clean it up in a simple way first. Yes, this microscope is a very fun toy. Very expensive toy, very fun toy. I'm actually finding myself not looking through the lenses right now because we're doing a stream. But yeah, see, that's the thing. If I focus my lenses, the video is sort of out of focus. But no, this is a Macintosh Classic 2 logic board. That's what this machine is. Sorry, we were talking about the Centris something else. But all right, so let's do a scrub. Now, the only thing that I have to tell people, and my apologies if I didn't tell you in advance, Kate, is when I do cleaning of these boards and when they go into the ultrasonic cleaner, there is a chance that some of the lettering on the chips and some of the lettering on the barcode comes off. of a little sticker. And you know that there's nothing really I could do about that. When you're heating something up and when you're cleaning something, that is a risk. But I think if the machine is working, that's well worth the risk, especially if you have documentation of what chip was what. And I always take pictures of the barcodes just to preserve that history. But okay, that looks much better. That looks much better, doesn't it? And we're going to get our Q-tip in here and just get anything that we may have missed. But that looks nice and shiny, doesn't it? Doesn't it? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do that same scrubbing to these chips here. Ugh. Yeah. And sometimes you need more than this, but sometimes it's just as simple as that. Sometimes you don't have to pull the chips off. As long as there's no solder balls or anything under that. That was pretty good. Well, that's why, thankfully, this is being recorded, so I could always take some stills from this later on.
Back before, after, ta-da!
All right, let's see how bad these are, because these were right next to the caps. This is by the two serial ports. Yeah, these look pretty crusty. Your secret sauce, oh my goodness! I hope it's not the one with mayonnaise. Just have to spin this around so I get a better feel for this thing. Yes, these still have a bit of crud on it, even after doing this. One or two of these may need to be taken off. Oh, that sounds awesome, Jay. Gotta bottle that up. House of Moth's secret sauce. If my nephew is watching, he's gonna repeat that phrase to me 80,000 times. And if my nephew is watching, hello. The biggest littlest Mac84 fan there is. I won't say his name because I'm sure I am breaking some YouTube law right now, but hello. He knows who he is. By stop working, what do you mean? Does the drive stop working or the computer stops working? Be a little more descriptive. We might be able to help you out there. Because there's a ton of variables there. A ton. It's really hard to diagnose these things over the phone or off chat or something like that, but well, it doesn't look too bad, now does it? They look all pretty now. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Shiny. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. So next step is I'm going to get all this old... Well, hold on here. Might get too ahead of ourselves. I see something horrible. Ew. Look at all that. I believe these are the serial pins for the serial ports. Ugh. Yeah, we need to get some of that away too. It could be something bad there, Nick. It could be a variable of things there. Try replacing the memory, the PRAM, all that stuff. Hey, thank you, MacBoy91SI. Thank you. You deserve a eep. Thank you very much for the super chat. That is very kindly appreciated. The horror for the horror. Well, look at that. See, because of your super chat, we just clean that up. Look at that. Look at that. So with the SCSI card unplugged, Nick, is everything fine? Also, is the board been recapped? I hate to ask, but has the board been recapped? If it hasn't, that's the first thing to try. Even though it may not be related to that. You never want to go in with variables. Eep! Yep, I always do the eeps. Eep, eep, eep. Alright.
Ultra scunged.
Oh, that's cool, Christopher. Yeah, see, some of those compact flash or IDE adapters, they're really not Mac friendly, but I think it just might be the way that the device is seen by the computer. So sometimes you could get around that, but good luck. All right, so it was recapped. Well, I would try limiting things. Do you have a floppy disk to boot off of it? Like, does the machine boot otherwise? Can you boot off of a floppy? It worked before, but not yesterday. That sounds like some... I mean, I don't know who redid the caps on that. I'm not saying they did a bad job or anything, but that makes me sort of suspicious that maybe there's some... I mean, those LC boards have a lot of corrosion problems by the sound chips. It could be something simple like that, but if it is recapped, let's assume they did a good job. Could be a faulty RAM module. That's why I'm asking if it boots just from the floppy without a hard drive, trying to limit everything there. But all right, so we got these pretty good looking, I think. Oh, where am I looking at here? Well, that is the this other chip here. Let's just give that a good. Let's clean everything. Clean all the things. Clean everything. Everything. I know we're super zoomed in here, but that's so we can see what we gotta clean. Ugh. Ugh. It's like dentistry, yes. Don't call me to fix your teeth, people. I'm not certified, and I'm not certified in this either. But that's nasty. See, and those are the pins that were facing in the direction of these caps. So it's not necessarily bad. There's just some extra flux and crap on there. And we're gonna clean up this board. We're gonna do it right. Does boot with another floppy on it. Okay. Well, it sounds like you have some suspect stuff going on there. I really, it is difficult to diagnose virtually here, but I would suggest taking a good look at the new caps that were put on, making sure. I mean, again, without a microscope, it's hard to see, but there might be something bridging something or some corrosion there, because that. You usually shouldn't get a sad Mac in that situation. Unless, like, the SCSI ID is set to the wrong thing, or I don't know. There could be a plethora of issues there. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a little rough there. So... My scalpel needs replacing because this is not as sharp as it once was. Getting some of that gunk off of these feet here. I mean, the ultrasonic cleaner will do its job. It'll be very nice, but we want to try and make it a little easier to get things working. Take a picture of this barcode before the rest of it melts off. Usually alcohol and ink do not mix. Okay, so let's zoom ourselves out here so you guys remember where we are. I remember where we are. So my ultrasonic cleaner is a 15-liter one. Now, when I say 15-liter, that's what it says on the box. It cannot hold 15 liters, and it is not designed for computer parts. It is designed for other things. And so I can almost fit a Quadra 840 AV board in there. Almost. It has to stick out a little bit. But I can almost fit one in there, which is not too bad. I have a whole video I'm doing on that because it was a whole saga of me getting it and it being broken and me fixing it and all this stuff. And there's some information I want to share about that. But yeah, it's a decent size. And Bruce has some crazy ideas about an ultrasonic cleaner. I will not spoil it. I will just say that he's going to have some fun. And I cannot wait for him to show off what he's going to do. Alright. Yeah, we cleaned those already, but... Okay. Alright. Yeah, if there is any corrosion around the chips, just get some alcohol and a toothbrush like I'm doing. And just scrub it. Just see. It could very well be just something very simple that, hey look, I recap things all the time, at least before I got the microscope, and it was I missed things because I just couldn't see them. I could totally foresee something like that happening. Not saying the person's work is bad or anything like that. They could have done an awesome job. It just never hurts to double check. You want to confirm your assumptions. Trust but verify. Alright, I'm just getting some of the spare alcohol off the board here. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to clean up these solder pads here. And going to use my solder wick and my soldering iron. And where did I put my solder wick? Where did it go? Shoot. Where did it go? It was here. Oh, here it is. It is a lot of cleaning. And, you know, I had people contact me and you know, oh, could you fix my whatever machine board or whatever? And I said yes. And they're like, okay, how much? And I tell them the price, and they're like, well, so-and-so does it for cheaper. And I'm like, well, that's great. You can go speak to them. I know I'm going to do as thorough of a job as I can. I'm not judging anyone's work, but also my time might be worth a little bit more than somebody else's, or a little bit less than somebody else's. And that's just how things work. So, okay, let's get a fresh piece of this here. Exactly. You always get what you pay for. So I'm just, it looks like I'm pushing hard on this, but I'm not. I'm just lightly going over these pads with the soldering iron and with the wick, and just trying to get up as much solder as I can. It's not going to be perfect. Pads are much shinier than they were before. Yeah, well, it's I only have like the workgroup servers I have might not even need recapping, to be honest. Not right now. I have a 9600, I have a 6100, and I have a 7200 or 7300, something like that. They're just, you know, the regular boards. They just had different software installed on them to make them workgroup servers. There's nothing too fancy about that, but they will be attended to, as will all the machines in my collection at one point in time. I have a lot of ongoing simultaneous projects. I have an IBM PS2 I'm trying to fix. I have a duodock. What else? What else? Jeez, it's just so many. That Quadra 840 AV. These classic Mac boards, these compact Mac boards here. There's not enough time in the day. If I did this full time, which maybe would be fun one day, if I did this fixing stuff full time, I would have so much work, and I'd still procrastinate. Oh, look how shiny and pretty those are. I don't know if Ken's in the chat. He might be still sleeping. But I was on a Computer Clan video, technically. I helped Ken with some of the research for that episode he did about why computers stopped working. And my friend Bruce from Breakers Creations was also featured on there. And my friend Jay from the House of Moth and Mac84 also contributed and had a little footage in there too. So it was a group effort. But I think that was a very excellent video. You know, he explained some very complex things in a very down-to-earth way. It makes it easy for non-tech savvy folk to understand, which is great because that's That's really, I think, the problems out here. A lot of people are getting into this stuff, and they're not all dorks like I am. I mean, a lot of them, they just, oh, I just want to play Oregon Trail. I just want to get this online. I just want to do this. And it's like, okay, that's great, but your caps are bad, or your battery may have leaked. And then you get these bozos who, and I'm sorry, but they are bozos, who get a Mac, and they go, oh, these traces need some fixing. They get a Mac, like a Mac Color Classic, and they go, you know what, this is worth about $5,000. I'm going to sell it for $5,000. I'm not going to do the courtesy of recapping the darn thing, but I'm going to sell it at a crazy price on eBay. And then the poor guy who buys the machine, da-da-da, machine doesn't work. So, yeah, no thank you. I've been called much worse things. I don't know who you're talking about, Jay. That is uncalled for. Alright, let's see. Ooh, yeah, some of these traces. Let's make sure that they are actually connecting to things, because they look a bit nasty. eBay bozos. Okay, let's get our little beepy beep beep multimeter here. And I just want to see if these traces look a little bleh. Ooh, yeah, no thanks. I got Mac Pluses for $15. I think that's my limit. Untested. Alright, let's see if this is actually going. And I'm sorry, you can't see the full thing here. But, alright, that's okay. Looks a bit rough. But it is making continuity. We'll probably want to fix that. Same with this. That's the problem. See, looks like the caps didn't leak or anything, but... Oh, that... Yeah, maybe that'll go. Maybe. Yeah, so these traces are okay. But the problem is... Let's zoom down, actually, so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. So, these traces have solder mask on them to protect them. And you see that some of these are dirty from the corrosion. It just eats away at that solder mask. And it can actually eat away at the copper there and just make it not work. And so when people look, these are under the caps too. So you wouldn't be able to see this. This is right between a capacitor here. So you wouldn't be able to see this just by looking at the board. You know? So this is, again, this is reasons why you gotta pull the caps off of these things. I mean, jeez. I mean, look at that. That is not a healthy thing there. So what we're gonna have to clean this up before we put caps on it, guys. I'm not gonna leave this to be sitting in my friend Mike's machine and all of a sudden one day it just stops working. Because I don't have to do this again. So much zooming. Zooming, action. We're getting a little silly on a Sunday here, but it's Sunday, so it's okay. It is okay. Yeah, this is just coming right off because it's all gunk anyway. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to adjust this so I could see sharper in the microscope here. Which means you'll see maybe a slightly blurry image, but I gotta see so I could do this. And where's my scalpel? There it is. Ugh, yeah, see, this trace goes right under that chip. And we'll have to take a look at that later. Alright, that looks okay. Yes, I will have to do that. Actually, I'm going to use this moment to take a quick break. I need some water. I'm a little thirsty. So I'm going to put up the little be right back message. And I will be right back in a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk about what device you're watching on. I don't know. Or what your favorite Mac is. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. We are back. Yeah, just ignore the ignorables. All right, so we are going to be continuing to clean up this stuff, and yeah, fun times. Hopefully, there's some chat I missed here. Let me scroll up here. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Ooh, you guys were quite talkative here. Yes, I have to fix on adjusting this stuff a little bit, so I actually understand how to focus this correctly. I honestly don't care what devices you're watching this on. You're watching from an iMac G3. That's cool. You're watching on a souped up beige G3 with a G4 1 gigahertz card. That's cool too. I've only used Android phones when I have to fix something, so the experience has never been a joyful one for me. But that's just me. You know what? The phones are cheaper, and if you just need a phone to do some calls or whatever, you're not going to do anything fancy. It might be fine for your needs. I really could not care less of what operating system other people use. I just have my preference. You want to use yours? Cool. More power to you, man. You know, you like your distro, you like your operating system, you like whatever is set up the way it is. I'm glad we have choices. It would stink if we all had to use the same thing. Well, G3s are awesome. They're beyond cool. All right, let's yeah, this is nasty. All right, so let's see if this has any continuity here. He's our little multimeter friend. Well, you know what? If it wasn't for Android, some of the iPhone features would not have been implemented, and vice versa, so it's good to have competition. Alright, so that's there. And move up here. Where's this trace go? It's hard for me to see where this trace goes, so I'm so far zoomed in. Let's zoom out a little bit. You don't need to be that close for this. Okay, I'm right here, and I'm following the magic trace here, and it's going all the way there. And it's making a connection, but okay. Alright. Yeah, honestly, a lot of the stuff that Mike was telling us on MacYak not too long ago about the Windows Phone is very intriguing, and I know that a few of my coworkers have used Windows Phones in the past and absolutely loved them. So, whatever you like, guys. It's obviously each have their own strengths. And there is some copper under here, so that's good. But the problem is that, you know, there's this crap around it, and I'm afraid if I leave that there, it's just going to get worse. So we got to do our best to scrape that off. And you can see just some of this is just disgusting. Ew. That is nasty. Nasty. No, we're gonna get this all cleaned up, whether this board goes to Mike or whoever. Because one of the classic 2 boards is for Mike. I don't know if it's this one. I swore I took the caps off of the one for Mike already. But that board is probably sitting on a table behind me, and I just didn't look at the darn thing. Either way, he'll get a working one. That's all that matters. Ugh, this is just... ugh. I mean, not all of this probably needs to be scraped away, but I'm here. I'm going to do it, so I don't have to do this again. I don't want to come back to this board in a few months or whenever. And my friend Brankus Creations, Bruce, did an excellent video on trace repair. So I'm not inventing any of this. I am blatantly appropriating his techniques. He is Yoda and I am just a mere Luke Skywalker. And here we go. You know, Windows XP back in the day, it was a huge improvement. I remember using it on a PC we had in the house for games. And yeah, I mean, it needed the service packs and it was Windows, but it worked. And it was much more capable of, you know, modern things than Windows 98 was. It was much easier to get networking to work and stuff like that. Obviously, it was popular enough to stick around forever. I mean, jeez. Alright, so that trace has been cleaned up. Yes, I'm actually fixing up the floppy drive and the proprietary hard drive from an IBM PS2. It's right over there. I don't even know the number of it. Mike will remember. It's a 57 or something like that. I have a Windows ME install CD. I never touched the thing, but let's make sure this is okay here. 50Z. Thank you, Mike. I actually Mike was talking about it a while ago, and there were actually some for sale, but I don't know what I'd do with this stupid thing. There were some IBM, was it 5600 servers, PowerPC based 5600 servers. I think those are chirp compliant. I don't know if they'll run the Mac OS, but cool machines there. The old IBM PowerPC servers from the mid to late 90s. I think you had one, didn't you, Mike? This all looks okay. I'm just suspect about this little area here. Wow. RS 6000. There you go. 1993. Wow. Your cat is watching. Well, hello, kitty. So we are fixing up a Macintosh Classic 2 logic board. And there's a lot of gunk around these traces, so we are gutting them. We are getting all the corrosion out of there. And, ugh, there's another one. Ugh. So you could tell the trace has some bad news on it because it's dark here. And so that's the same gunk and juice that the capacitors leak out. And you can see when I start to scrape it, there's a layer of gunk. And so we want to get that off of there because that'll just continue to eat away. And that's very bad. We don't want that to happen because we'll go ahead and recap this machine and then months or years later, it's going to be unhappy. And, yeah. I am a strong believer in doing it right the first time. And so you never have to revisit the darn thing. So we're just scraping away the old junk here. See you later, Christopher. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. It's been fun. All right. So this goes like right under that chip there, which is, so I'm actually you're not gonna see that video feed for a second. I'm gonna swip this over so I can see this in stereo because I need to be able to see under this. So I need a little bit of an angle here, so you will not see that for a second. Bear with me here while I do this. Okay. Yeah, I need to see sort of under this to just make sure this is going to the right spot. Okay. Pull that out. This is one of the better streams. Oh, let's not go comparing things, please. Made me feel like my previous body of work is all garbage. Oh, boy. Oh, roof leaks. Oh, those are fun. Oh, yeah, good luck with that, Sean. Ugh, yeah, I've had my fair share of that. No, thank you. Good luck. Alright, any other traces around this area that look suspect? That's really all I saw, I think, around this area. Yeah, Flex Seal is a very good temporary solution. Trust me, from a man with roof leaks, I got the talking to by the guy who actually fixed the roof, and he's like, yeah, I got to clean all this stuff off now, thanks. I'm like, well, when it pours, it pours. I had to clean it. Do you hate Windows Vista? I actually had a positive experience with Windows Vista. Not that anybody would care for me to talk about it. Wait, you will? Okay, I'll talk about it. So I built a PC around 2008 with the sole purposes of, ooh, this is all, ooh, yeah, that's not shiny at all. Look at that. Ew. Look at that. So I built a Windows PC in 2008, and I think Windows 7 may have just come out, or whatever the case may be. I think it was 2007, 2008, whatever it was. Microsoft had this promotion where if you watched a bunch of training videos about Internet Explorer or Windows or whatever the heck it was, and you were a small business, you got a free copy of Windows Vista for Business, which is almost like the professional version. It came with some pretty nice bells and whistles. And so I only had a legitimate copy of Windows XP at the time. Well, maybe a legitimate copy. And I was building this gaming PC, and my graphics card did not have the best support for Windows XP. They wanted you to use Vista because it was a 64-bit processor, 64-bit machine, motherboard, all this stuff. So I installed Windows Vista for Business, Service Pack 0, the brand new disc that just came out. And you know what? It was fine for playing games. It was a little clunky. I had to turn some things off. I had to fine-tune it like you do with any Windows installation. But honestly, it wasn't too bad. Now, I much prefer Windows 7 over it. I upgraded to Windows 7 as soon as I had the means to. But you know what? For a short period of time, I had really little issues with Vista. It's fun to joke about because it's like, oh, it's so bad, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, on all honesty, maybe I'm just looking through nostalgia-tinted lenses, but wasn't too bad. Again, I just used it for games. I wasn't programming with it. I wasn't trying to do updates. I wasn't trying to run vintage software on it. I was playing Unreal Tournament 3. That's what just came out, and probably a bunch of Steam games. That was about it. Well, it's not too much of a tall order for a PC. And I could hear the rabbits upstairs throwing things around. Girls, knock it off. Knock it off. Ooh, yeah, here we go. We got some suspect stuff here. Oopsie. Scalpel went inside. If you want to like the video, please go ahead and do so. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I would assume many of you are subscribed. Actually, let's do an impromptu poll here. If you are subscribed to the channel, can you type a eep into the text box here? If you're not subscribed, type a quack. I would assume most of the people that watch me are subscribed. You never know. I am subscribed, so I will say eep. I would assume most of you are. But Brankus Creations and I are in a friendly competition. He is currently smoking me. He has almost 3,000 subscribers. I do not have nearly that many, but a lot of eeps. Okay, cool. It's funny because the YouTube analytics, and of course they're the analytics for the entire channel, say that my viewership is about 50-50 subscribed. So some are subscribed, some aren't. So I'm like, okay. And then again, it says my entire demographic is 100% male. And there's no female viewers, which I know is not true. So, yeah, you take those analytics with a grain of salt. Can't believe everything you hear on the internets. Alright, so, hopefully, I know that was sort of a side trip there because we had so much gunk to clean up. But I think we got all the bad traces. Sort of. Maybe. Time will tell. Alright, let's look at the other area here. This is the other area of the caps. It doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. I'm just going to zoom around the board briefly. Make sure I didn't miss anything horrible looking. Let's look over here. Some cleaning to be done, but I don't see... I'm not seeing anything immediate that jumps out where the traces are unhappy or angry. So that's good. Okay. Alright. So let's continue here. So what I have to do now is I scrape the copper away from these traces. What I have to do is I have to put fresh solder over them to sort of make sure that those traces are actually going to be conductive for the future. And then I have to put some solder mask over it. Now it is nice and sunny outside. So what I will do is I'm gonna put some solder mask on this after I put some solder on these traces. And we're gonna let that sit in the sun for a little bit, and I'll go on to a different board, or we'll do some questions or something. How about that? How about that? Whoopsie. I'll go the other way. Here we go. Cool. Alright, so let's use our flux here to suggest that our solder adhere to this area. Why, thank you very much, Alex. That's very kind of you. Yes, it looks fantastic. I love this thing. I'm hoping I can get the situation resolved with the different head dilly, or whatever you want to call it, so I can view in stereo and stream at the same time. But you know what? This is a huge improvement from what it was. And there we go. Nice shiny solder there. There we go. My goodness, I beat out the Computer Clan and the 8-Bit guy. I don't know where you get your rankings from, but I am partial to them in that order. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Where'd I get that microscope? This was an Amscope microscope. And this was from their website, amscope.com. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, so essentially all the areas I scraped, and I'm sorry I don't explain this too well, but I'm not 100% professional Brankus Creations here. I'm just doing things and talking to myself. All the areas that I scraped exposed copper, And while that usually is okay, just for testing purposes, what you want to do is you want to put solder over that, and then you want to put a solder mask on it. And so the solder mask is basically like this green stuff on the PCB board here. And so essentially you want to put solder over that, and then you want to cover it up, and that will remove the risk of it oxidizing and getting all gunky in the future. So, and I will show you that stuff. It's like a little green goop, and but we have to put the solder on first, and we'll do that. But thank you. It's very kind that I'm your favorite channel. I hope that I like a lot of channels on YouTube. I think LGR is one of my favorites. 8-Bit Guy is one of my favorites. Brankus Creations is one of my favorites. House of Moth is one of my favorites. Mac Shack is one of my favorites. Arcade Mods is one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. There's a lot of great creators out there, and I enjoy watching the Nostalgia Nerd, Retro Man Cave. Forgetting all these names. Techmoan is one of them. Really a lot of fun stuff. Oh, thank you, Mike. Eep. Well, that wasn't a good eep. I'm sorry. Eep. No, hold on. I have to get my eepings in order. Me. Eep. There we go. So Mike is giving away an iBook that I previously owned. So my DNA is on it. Only the good DNA. He is giving away an iBook. It's a 12-inch iBook. It has like a 3 to 4 hour battery life. Well, probably 2 to 3 hours. That thing's crazy. It's an educational model. I think it's a 1 gigahertz or 1.25 gigahertz or something, 1.01 gigahertz or something like that. Very, very excellent iBook. If you go to Mike's channel, Mike, if you want to put a link in the chat there, he has some rules of how you could subscribe. And when he reaches a magic number, he's going to give away that iBook, which is awesome. I mean, that's an awesome machine. Great bridge vintage Mac if you want to do classic Mac stuff, OS X stuff. Excellent machine. When did I get monetized? That was in December. So just before I released my iMac revolutionary USB whatchamacallit video, which I loved. And a lot of people say that's one of their favorite videos of mine. And don't worry, there's more coming up. I have to do one for an iMac DV and the whole rest of the lineup. That's right before that video, like a half hour before that video went live, I got monetized. So that was my first video with Super Chats. I was so excited. And honestly, all the Patreon funds and all the YouTube funds, that's how I was able to save up to get something as cool as this microscope. And so I hope I am paying it right back to all of you by showing you, how well these tools help me and giving you tips and tricks and all that good stuff. So to enter, I would, I think Mike from Mike's Mac Shack is the one who's giving away that iBook. What he will do is, I think there's a video that he has on his YouTube channel. And I think all you have to do is really subscribe to it. He has a few different rules, I think. But he will be posting a video link, or Jay will be posting a video link into the YouTube chat in a second. And basically you just have to subscribe and do a few other things, I think. And you'll be entered to win the iBook. So there you go. Alright, so we're just cleaning up that a little bit. Alright, so let's continue putting solder on our traces here. Where'd my flux go? Where'd my flux go? There it is. Eep! Alright. Alrighty. There's Mike's link. There we go. Alright, so let's put some solder on these traces. Solder. Tomato. Potato. This copper bowl I'm sticking my iron into is quite dirty. We're going to have to get a new one there. There we go. So just putting a little coating of solder on it, just enough to cover it. See, just enough to cover it. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Oh, it is very satisfying to look at, I must admit. I must admit. Potato. Oh, boy. That is such a nice eBay seller. Wow. I would refrain from purchasing from that individual. If they are that nasty to potential buyers, I can't even imagine how they would respond if you actually bought the darn thing. I don't know why people have to be jerks. Why can't we all just be friendly? I mean, look, everyone has different opinions. Everybody has, you know, different beliefs and all this stuff. But can't you just be not a jerk to somebody? Is that so hard? I don't know. Just gonna put some happy little capacitors on here. Just some happy little capacitors. Yeah, exactly. I would not give that person the time of day or do any business with that individual. No, thank you. No, thank you. Alright, let's just confirm our work here. Got some solder there. I think that's where we scraped away. Anywhere else that we scraped away that we did not fill with solder? I don't think so. I think that is good. Let's just double check. Any areas I forgot? That one looks good. Any other areas I scraped, scraped? You gotta help me remember. I don't remember. How long have we been streaming here? I have 30 viewers, just about. And we've been going on for, oh my gosh, almost 2 hours. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Well. Just that bit. There we go. Okay, cool. Alright, so now's the time to put that solder mask on. Then we're going to bring this board outside and let it sit in the sun for a bit. I'm just going to take a look with my eyes, see if I'm noticing any areas that don't look too hot. I think we're okay. I didn't scrape that away, did I? Even with the microscope, I got to double check. I think we're okay. Yeah, I'm actually going to take some of the solder away from those solder pads because it's going to be very particular to get this solder mask on. I'll show you in a bit, but actually, yeah, we could. Alright, good, because I don't want to leave that trace there. That's okay. And we just want to get the excess solder off of this, because we're going to redo those later on. Yeah, the analog board I think is more of a problem on the Plus and some of the SCs. I mean, honestly, every machine is different. But, yeah. Alright, let's clean this. Did I get that one? Oh, there's a little speck. Little speck that I should put solder on. Just a little speck. Oh, you would wick the traces as well. Well, if I wick them, wouldn't it remove the solder that I just put on there? Or am I just assuming things? Because I don't want it to remove the solder. And Whenever I use wick, I seem to pull up all the bits of solder. Well, that's lucky. My 2GS, my Apple 2GS had a reefer cap in it, and it went kaboom! And boy, did that stink. I still gotta get a replacement for that. Because, woof! Stinky. This is a Macintosh Classic 2 logic board. I really should put like a little thingy on the bottom to tell everybody what we're working on. But yes, this is a Macintosh Classic 2 logic board. And we are just preparing to put some solder mask on here, which should allow us to then put some caps on it and not worry about any of the gunk that was previously under there. I need to go get a toothpick to use the solder mask because it's very, very particular and could get goopy. And we don't want too much, we just want a little bit. So I will be right back, and I will go grab that. I'll be back in like a minute or two. That I forgot the mic button there. So I've got two toothpicks here, and so what I'll be doing is putting the solder mask on these little toothpicks and then spreading that around. So that's what we will be doing. Yeah, I mean, not to question your expertise, Jay, but whenever I use the wick, it sucks up all the solder. And since I put such a little amount on those traces, I'm kind of worried that it will suck it all up. They do seem to be pretty flush, so I'm not too worried about them being bumpy or anything. And since this is my own board, I'm not really too concerned about that. But that is good to know, though, because I will probably have to do that for more involved trace repairs. Pairs of silver, not gold. Oh, I'm sorry. No. I meant the traces. Not. I'm mixing up things here. Yes, I will wick up all the pads. What I am doing is I'm putting a very, very small... I'm actually going to follow this with a toothpick. I'm not... Really? Well, alright. Well, let me just do it here, and then I'll just shut up about it. So, yeah, we got this here. And so... You're saying to put the wick over this trace. Is that correct, Jay? There are a lot of people that don't like me. And you know what? They're welcome to have their own opinion, but I don't have to like them either. So there you go. So I'm going to use the little wick here. Oh, how about that? Okay, so it is sticking to there. Well, I'll be. Thank you very much, Jay. Much appreciated. Let's not stab ourselves with the soldering pencil. Look at that. Learn something new every day. Thank you, Jay. Thank you very much. Now I owe him $1 million, I'm sure. Now, Jay, I would promote some of your videos more, but you gotta get to doing some more. Although I must say that Jay is excellent at recapping power supplies, and excellent at doing the Pixelus mod for Power Macs. Not Power Macs, what am I talking about? Mac Pros. So if you have a Mac Pro that you want to do the Pixelus mod for, and that is essentially to allow you to run a higher power graphics card on your classic Mac Pro, and you do not want to do the work yourself, because it is quite involved. Jay does an excellent professional job on those, and I would highly suggest you check that out. He has a website, thehouseofmoth.com, and he also has a YouTube channel under the same name, as you could tell by his username in the chat. But he does excellent work. He recapped my Xer power supply, which I still have to finish a video on. Got back from making eggs. Alright, well, we are just about to put some solder mask on this bad boy here. And we're going to put this in the sun and go from there. I think Jay must have fell over after all the compliments I just gave him, because he's not talking. The paintbrush would be too big in this case, I think. So I'm just going to be using a toothpick, Trina. But we will see. Let's see. I'm just cleaning this up just really quick again before I do any painting here. Eep! Any painting. Yes, please do. If you want to watch someone clean a puck mouse for 45 minutes, it is very therapeutic. I keep telling Jay he needs to do an ASMR version of his videos. But, what do I know? What do I know? Okay, so here comes a solder mask. It is in this little tube thingy. And, yes, Sun Microsystems. And, so it's like a thick paint. Well, not thick, but it can get thick. It's like a paint. And, you M&A. I suggest you go watch my April Fool's video from a few years ago, Kate, if you haven't done so already. Amazing, soothing Macintosh recordings. ASMR. See what I did there? Yeah, that was a fun one to do. Alright, so we are going to paint this very delicately. And we just want to cover, we'll clean up the areas that we don't want it on, but we just want to get a coating, just a light coating. Well, thank you, Casey. That is awesome. Thank you for supporting me and my pals. See? Oops, I got too much solder mask on the toothpick. You're going to see what that looks like, because oopsie doodle. We're going to put that, where do we need to? We need to put that there. But see, that is way too much. Way too much. Way too much. Where's my paper towel when I need it? My goodness. Yeah, so this is solder mask. So, we need to basically be very careful about where we put this on. We do not want to cover the pads, because we will be needing to solder stuff to them. So you have to be a little careful. And this stuff will just come up from a paper towel or whatever. It's not hard to get off, but once it dries, it's going to be as solid as the green stuff already on the board. It's the same thing. That's pretty good, I think. Okay. And I'd like to try and be neat and tidy with this, so I'm gonna clean off what areas I don't want it on, but You can see where the microscope helps with this, because I would not be able to do this with my naked eye. I'd be getting it all over the place here. Okay. Let's see. Where else do I need to paint this green funk? Here we go. Oh, just gotta move this so you guys can see. Sorry about that. Again, the field of vision of the camera is different from what I could see through the actual microscope. So my apologies if in some instances I'm looking at something and you can't see it. It's just the way this machinery is. Okay, we're going to try and scoop up as much of that as I can. You know, let's just use one of our Q-tips here that we didn't use too much. We'll just try and get the excess of that. We don't need all of that there. We don't want it on our solder pad or anything like that. Okay. Yeah, Mike did an excellent video on a PowerBook. I know he's a little bit busy, but hopefully he'll give us part 2 of the fix and tear down of that PowerBook. I think it was a PowerBook G4 that he was doing. Alright, let's move that over a little bit. Hope you don't mind my silly voices. I don't. Every once in a while, I do very bad impressions. Not bad as in horrible, not like mean, but bad as in I'm terrible at them. So hope you don't mind that. I have a little bit of fun. That's all. Just having a little bit of fun. I'm going to do them anyway, so it's not like I need your approval. But I'm more of explaining my insanity here. There's only so many hours you could look at the flux on a board before you go mad. Alright. Alright. I think that is okay. You haven't heard Arnold in a while. Well, I don't think he's joined the stream. I think he's busy in Hollywood doing whatever. But if he were here, he'd probably go, there's a lot of flux on the board. Oh, that is horrible. See, I haven't done that in a while. Dana does a much better impression than I do. Much better. And everyone who has no idea what we're talking about is like, did Steve just like go crazy? The answer is yes. Yeah, the answer is yes. Okay. I think that looks okay. What do you guys think? I think that that solder mask is doing its job. It's covering the areas we want to cover. Get to the chopper! And I think that'll be okay. A bunch of eeps. Eep! That's an Arnold doing an eep. A very horrible impression, but what did the poor guy ever do to me? I don't know. You have been terminated, Mr. Macintosh Classic. See that when I try and do an accent, I just like roll into different ones. And it's not intentional. There's just something wrong with my brain. Well, that and other things. Alright, let's get back to what we gotta do here. We're getting off topic. Thank you, Jay. Alright, so this looks pretty good. I'm gonna go outside and just put this in the sun. Wait. What is this? What is this? What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Gotta clean that up there a little bit. I mean, if we're gonna spend the time and put some solder mask on things, clean this up. Quack! That wasn't a good quack. Quack! There, that's a little bit better. Alright, let's put a little bit of solder on that. Oh, I didn't put the flux on. Oopsie. See, Bruce is not around, so he didn't remind me. Who stepped on a duck? Where did I put my wick? I'm always misplacing it. There it is. To cut that, but I'm lazy, so I'm not going to. There we go. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. Alright, alright. That needs to be tidied up just a little bit. I am about 70% of the way through a 375 count of Q-tips, so that tells you how much cleaning is going on with a lot of these machines. Oh boy. Yeah, that looks much better now, doesn't it? Alright, I just had to put some fresh solder mask on the area where I accidentally moved it with the alcohol, so that'll just take a second. Get our thing back on here, because it's just in a liquid right now. It's not going to harden or anything until we put some ultraviolet light on it, so unless it's in the sun, it is just going to not really help us out here. So we'll just put that back on. Probably a little thicker than I need, but I guess that'll ensure that we don't have any problems. Now will it? Okay. I think we just need to tidy that up a little bit and we'll be good to go. What do you guys think? Okay. Yeah, this is getting a little too close to here for my comfort. See, the problem is the Q-tips I have are wow, that's a lot, Jay. The Q-tips I have are very fuzzy, so they will. I can't really precisionally clean things with them, but I will try. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm going to step away for a minute. I'm going to put this bad boy in the sun. Oh, wait. We need to scrape some of that off these pins, because if we have to remove this chip here, we will not be able to do that. Well, we will, but it'll just be a bit more difficult. So let's get that off of there. And we could just use our toothpick friend and get some of this excess here, and repaint this area just a little bit. And I realize it's still on the foot, but my hands are not steady enough to be perfect with this, so we will just do the best we can. So I don't want to have to do this a million times, but I'm making it worse, aren't I? Yep. Well. I think that'll be okay. We could always scrape off the excess later. Just gonna drive myself crazy. Jay is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Alright, hello Tech and Music, welcome to the party. So I'm just going to be right back. I'm going to go upstairs, put this in the sunlight, and I will be right back to take her with something else. Please hold. Okay, we are back. My goodness. So I went to put the board outside, and I had to sort of clean a little area to put it now. It is sunny out. It looks like it's not as sunny from here. I wonder how long we need to keep that up there. Hey, Brian. Welcome to the chat. You just got an Apple Color monitor. Is that the Apple II series monitors? The composite video ones? Very cool. Yes, the 800K floppy disk models, the particular models for the Apple II, will work on a Mac, except you can't use that pass-through connector. So you can't daisy chain them. Oh my goodness, we got some chat to follow up on here. So I think that solder mask only takes about 5-10 minutes in the sun, so we'll check on that in a little bit. Ah, it's a Mac monitor for your Duodock. Very, very cool. Very nice. Yeah, a lot of the gears on those things need to be replaced these days. Casey Plays, not sure what you were saying. What was called again? I might have missed your question. But all right, so that solder mask is baking in the sun right now. That hopefully will only take a few minutes. Trying to think of what we could do while we wait for that. Nothing too time intensive. Oh, I could show you. That's what I could do. I could show you what I fixed up recently. What I fixed up before this stream. Let's switch cameras. Hold on a second, please. There we go. So we're going to move this out of the way. There we go. You need a Macintosh ROM, a file of a Macintosh ROM to use those emulators. That's about it. You could, with some careful Googling, you could find it. Now, I will say, if there was a JavaScript-based port, well, not a port, but like I guess it's a port of Basilisk or Basilisk, however you say it, that emulator, and that runs macOS 8 right out of the box. If you have a Mac, you'll run. I don't know if there's a Windows port of that, but thank you, Kate. It is very fancy. It is very, very fancy. It's very expensive, but it's also very, very fancy. Okay. Hello, Toru the Red Fox. Thank you for joining. So, while that classic board is basking in the sun outside, and while I clean up here, hold on a second. While I do that, I'm going to show you the results of the Classic 1 board that I fixed just this morning, actually. Let's bring that up on the desk. Oh boy. So we have a Macintosh Classic here. This is the first model. And this board has already been recapped. That is a familiar feeling for me in other respects of computing. All right, so let's get a very dirty mouse here, but you know what? It will do. It will do. And we need a keyboard here. And we're gonna boot up this old Mac Classic. We just recapped the thing, which is great. Well, you know, it really depends on what part of the world you're in. Some of these computers are much easier to come by than others. I built most of my collection about over 10-15 years ago. And I've been slowly adding some key pieces to it, but other than that, most of the machines I've had for a long time. And I got them dirt cheap because nobody wanted anything to do with the Macintosh before the iPod got popular. Okay. Alright, so, whoopsie. Keyboard almost fell off of my lap there. Desk is a little bit cramped, but, alright, I'm going to show you something cool here. Some of you probably already know this trick, but keep it a secret for everybody else. Alright, so this is a Macintosh Classic, the first model, and I recapped the logic board. We're going to plug it in. And we're going to turn it on. Nice healthy chime there. We're going to hold down a special key combination. We have no hard drive plugged in. We have no floppy disk in the disk drive. But maybe it's going to prove me wrong here. There we go. We're booting on the Macintosh. But how are we booting on the Mac here? As I said, we don't have a floppy disk drive and we don't have a hard drive. Well, it's booting from the ROM. That's right. Raw Elements got it right. We are booting off of the ROM. The Macintosh Classic has a version of System 6, a very, very lean version of System 6, built right into the ROM, which is really cool. So if you boot up the machine and hold down Command-Option-OX, that is O as an octopus, it will boot off of the ROM. We have a fully functional operating system here with no disk at all. It's super fast. 6.1x, System 6.0.3. And if you open up the boot disk hard drive, you only have one thing. It's a system folder. And you really don't have much. I mean, you have an Apple Share thing. You have the startup disk control panel. If we go to Chooser, we have Chooser here. So if we had Apple Talk set up and everything, we could connect to a network. Hey, you know what? Let's do that. Why the heck not? While we wait for that solder mask to dry, I'll test the serial ports on this too. See, now we're getting, this is true Mac84 style of getting a little crazy. Hold, please. Okay, let's see if this will work here. Yes, I have a very, small view of my experience in collecting these machines, and that is my view on the East Coast of the United States, where I understand some of these machines are much easier to come across than others. And that is just my luck of the draw. Which port is which? Right. Printer port is on the left. Let's try the modem port here. Okay. I don't think any other Macs could boot from the ROM. Not sure. Not 100% sure. Got to pay attention to the eep going on in this other machine. 1 second. Okay, so I have a machine booted up, our trusty Macintosh clone, and it has a version of Apple Talk running. Let's see if we connect to that network there. All right. Not showing anything yet. Let's just double check here. Might be using the wrong port. Probably am. Let's close that. Let's swap ports. It could just be that system is way too new for us to see it on the network. But oh, there we go. How about that? Look at that. We see our Macintosh clone right there, our Power Center Pro 180. And let's type in our password. And there's a hard drive. Look at that. Oopsie. I guess I can't use a keyboard shortcut. I gotta use the mouse. But look at that. We have the whole hard drive of our Power Center Pro desktop shared over a single AppleTalk cable. And look at all the fun stuff we have on here. Adobe Acrobat. Backups of other systems. All sorts of stuff we can't run on here. With, I think we only have like, what, 2 megabytes of memory? Yeah. We only have 2 megabytes of memory. Any games on here? Easy Color Rescue, Leprechaun, no. Ooh, do we have Prince of Persia? That might run. I don't think we could do a find, can we? No, we can't. Let's see. Anything that we could run here that is light enough that will not cause this machine to go kablamo. We have a 68K version of Mac IRC. We're not going to be running that. But very cool. So, you know, even just booting up from the system ROM here, we have the ability to network, which is freaking amazing. I mean, we have 2 megabytes of memory, and that's all we're running off of here. That's all we doing. Let's see if there's anything from this old PowerBook 180 we could open up here. We have a JPEG, we have installation discs, Tetris. Do we have the actual Tetris game on here? Maybe. Yeah, I don't think the Tetris game is on here. Oh wait, we have Tetris. Let's see if that'll load over the network. I do have a Quadra 840 AV. I am trying to get it to work though. Look at this! We're loading off Tetris over the network. This is awesome. Oh man. That was funny, Mike. Thank you. What? There we go. Local talk, baby. This is beautiful. Yes. Oh man. Let's see how bad I stink at this game. Let's put the camera on a tripod here. Oopsie. Yeah, that's much better. I know this is not what you guys came here to see, but while we wait for that Macintosh board to dry in the sun, might as well have some fun, right? Oopsie. Oopsie. Oops. Oh, man. That's fun. Alright, I'm having too much fun here. I don't. Let's see. There's let's try one more game. It was a version you grew up with. Nice. Very nice. I have a boxed version of Tetris somewhere, but I'm not sure what version it is. Oops. See, I'm used to like the Tetris with the grid. I'm looking at this from an angle, and excuses. Ah! See, my depth perception ain't too good. Ain't too good. Let's see if we could squeeze that into that little area there. There we go. Ah! Ah! Oh boy. How did I get a higher score that time? Alright, last game. Yep, we are booted off of the ROM and downloading stuff over an Apple Talk network at an incredibly slow speed. I can see why people get addicted. Ah! See, I don't know. I'm just not good at without the grid. I think if I push this button, it changes the scene. Yep, there we go. And the music. I mean, look at what they got away with, the black and white graphics here. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, sorry if something's going on. That it's I have no control over that. My apologies. Sometimes it's just because you have your web browser open for 3 hours straight. Which is totally my fault, but I apparently don't know how to do a short stream. I don't think you could select the ROM to be bootable from the disk selector. I don't think that's the thing. Maybe it is. I've never tried it. Oop. Alright, after this game, I'm gonna go get the board that's been sitting out in the sun. I think it's been sitting there for well long enough. What do you guys think? I think so. Sure, give me the piece when I can't use it to its full potential. I know this Mac84 plays Tetris is very, very exciting. Especially when I keep getting the same pieces. Come on! This is oopsie. Oopsie! That's what I can't talk and play at the same time. I can hardly play, but I bet I could Twitch stream on this, and I'd be the only one Twitch streaming Tetris on the original Mac. Oh man, that'd be fun. Maybe I should do that one day. What do you guys think? Twitch streaming, yay, nay? You're already bored out of your mind? You're falling asleep already? Probably. Ah! Pushed the wrong button. I think I'm toast. Ah! Not a bad score. 1,862. How about that? Alright, we're going to quit that and we'll turn off this little computer. Brian, I love that idea. Yes. We'll do some social distancing Tetris over Apple Talk. I don't know, Casey. Depends on your part of the world and depends on what type of a Mac, but I would doubt that. Maybe 10 years ago. Alright, let's shut her down. Alright, that was fun, though. I had fun. I don't know if you guys had fun. Sorry. I got a little carried away with the Tetris there. Hopefully you enjoyed it, because I did. Alright, let me scroll up, and I missed a bunch of chat from you guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. Brian says he remembers playing a ton of Tetris on his PowerBook Duo. Nice. Walter found 500 floppies from that era in storage. Should I archive them? Yes. If those floppies, Walter, are 800K, you cannot archive them from a USB floppy disk. If you're in the United States, feel free to send me some, and I'll try and archive them. Or I'm sure there are other groups that I'll be happy to do that. But it's best to do it with a classic Macintosh. I would not archive things with macOS 10. I'd use disk copy 4.2 or disk copy 6 to back them up. Just catching up. Tech and Music is inspired, and he's currently recapping his Classic 1 board. Well done. Well done. Yeah, it won't auto boot from the ROM. You got to hold down that special keyboard command. Just catching up on the chat. Yep, most of the iMacs, the later ones, you don't have to update the ROM on. Only the early ones to run OS 10. Oh, Mega Drive ROM hacking. Very cool, Toro the Red Fox. That is really neat. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll do some... I did some game streaming on YouTube. I just don't have a big following on Twitch, so I have like 2 or 3 people, I think. Oh, boy. You know, I found an Apple IIc monitor with the stand for $40. It was posted on Facebook. It was literally 20 minutes away from me, but somebody got it before I did, and I was kicking myself hard. Ugh. Okay, almost done here. Sorry, a lot of text you guys were typing up. No, it was not in Philly. This was in northern New Jersey. Well, not northern, but central New Jersey. Yes, Walter, that Performa 5300 will work perfect. Depending on the disk, if it's an 800K disk, I would use disk copy version 4.2 to image the disk, or disk dupe. Disk dupe is a great one. Go to macintoshgarden.org. Macintoshgarden.org. Disk dupe plus is a great tool to do that. But disk copy is good for any of the newer disks. Okay, so I'm going to run upstairs and grab the board out of the sunlight. Hopefully it has cured itself and we can put the new caps on and see if it works. So I will be right back. Let me go grab that and we'll see if it works. Okay, I am back. We have our board. Let me get this classic off the desk here, and let's move some things around. Ah. Okay, be very careful not to touch the exposed analog electronic zappity bits. Okay. Don't run. Yes. Very accurate. And Christian's here. Boop! Hey, Christian. Macintosh Garden rules. Yeah. Alright. Can you do a video on fixing the Quadra? I've done 3 videos on fixing the Quadra. Maybe 4. I haven't fixed it yet. So I'll keep trying, though. I think that is the bane of my existence right now. I'm jealous. Brian has a Quadra 700. I have an 840 AV. Oh, might have missed your comment. You can set the ROM disk as startup disk on the Classic, but you need to have it set when you're booted into it through the keyboard command. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I honestly have messed around with the ROM functionality so little that I didn't think that was possible, but could totally be. I might be wrong. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really care about the likes, dislikes, whatever. Cool if you do, cool if you don't. Yep. A lot of Macs were assembled in Ireland. I think it was a tax break or something they were getting. Okay, cool. So, let's take a look under the microscope here, and I'll show you what that cured or dried or whatever you want to call it UV solder mask looks like. Let's turn on the light, and let's go to our microscope. Here we go. All right. So, let's take a look. So if you remember, this was liquid that I put on the board. And let's focus here. There we go. And now everything has dried. Look at that. That is bone dry. It is not going anywhere. See, that is hard as the stuff underneath it. So now you know why. When I was painting that on, I was getting very careful not to put it on these pads. There's a little bit on here I could scrape off. Just a little bit. But, yeah, so that's what I was doing here. So that all cured pretty well. I'm just going to take my scalpel tool here and just scrape off some of the little bits here. The Quadra 700 is a great machine. Absolutely great. Well, Brian, I'd be happy to take a look at it for you if you are in need of some restoration for that Mac. I'm not saying you can't do it yourself or anything or anything of that matter, but I'd be happy to put my microscope's talents to a good use. Speaking of that, just zoom into this darn thing. Yeah, you could watch YouTube on a PowerPC Mac using third-party things, and it ain't pretty. But if you're gonna just watch videos, just use a smart TV, use a Roku, use an iPad, use an Android. Who cares? It's a glorified TV box. I couldn't care less what I watch something on, as long as it works. That being said, a lot of those smart TVs, those apps are absolutely terrible. They're never updated. They kind of work, and then like Google or Apple or Hulu or Netflix updates their thing and it breaks. But just my 2 cents. All right, so we're just getting some of. Not that it's gonna harm it. Just get some of that solder mask, because we're gonna do an ultrasonic cleaning later. Probably not on this stream. But just clean that up a little bit. You got that right, Mike. You got that right. Those ARM chips are pretty fancy. Well, this stuff is not conductive, so I'm not too worried about this. All right, let's get some caps on the board. You guys been patient enough, huh? All right. I'm excited too. I want this to work. All right, so let's center this a little bit better. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 caps that we got to put on the board. I need to work on this side first. Where are we? There we go. Now, I must mention that I am going to be using... Oh, yeah, Mac84 SI. That sounds like a power circuit that's a little messed up on there. Those could be challenging to fix, but they can be fixed. So I'm going to be getting my cheat sheet up here from Bruce's website, Brankus Creations. And Bruce has a website called Recap a Mac. And I will be putting that link in the description, but I'm going to be loading up his little schematic here. I had a printed version. Oh, here it is. I don't need the website now, but... I will paste in his version here. And what's cool about that page is it has these diagrams, shows you exactly where the caps are, which ones to replace, all that fun stuff. So that's my cheat sheet. Hello, David. Welcome to the chat. How you doing? So I'm gonna grab some capacitors and we'll get going. Okay, so. I need 8 16 volt 10 UF microfarad rather, 3 47 microfarad 16 volt, and 2 1 microfarad 50 volt. So let's get those sorted. So I need 8 of these in this bag. So we'll get 8 of those out of the way. Sometimes it's hard to open up this little tape thingy because you sort of have to peel the adhesive thing. Oh, it's like a protective thing. All right, how many of these do I say I need? These are the 16 volt. All right, we need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. All right. Put this back in the little bag so we do not lose them and do not get unorganized here. Good, glad you're doing good. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see that, Brian. Did you ever post that IBM video you did? That was fantastic. I really liked that IBM video you did. Only 40 inches. I'll tell you, back in my day, I was lucky to have a TV at all. At all. Okay, so we got the 10 microfarad 16 volt. We need 2 of the 50 volt. Here we go. One. 2. Now, some of these caps are just a little too wide for the pads. And it could be a little annoying. So sometimes I may have to order a smaller set of caps for these things, but... Alright, and then the 47, we need 3. Oopsie. These are the bigger ones. I should have all just had these ready before I went, but... There we go. Alrighty. In 1993, the Mac Pluses were old school. By 1993, we had Performas, we had Quadras, we had Centruses. So, I mean, yeah, people still use them if they had them, but Color Macs are out for a long time. A lot of PowerBooks are out too. Just before the PowerPC era. Alright. Yeah, these are tantalum capacitors. That's what I prefer to use. I've used plenty of different types. I do have a Centrus 650 and I think a 660 AV, although that might be classified as a Quadra. Same thing, just a different name. That's all they are. Alright, but that's what I got, Nicholas. Yeah, the pluses were still popular, still around, on the used market especially. Alright, so let's take a look and put these caps on the board, huh? Alright, so we have 4 to put here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh wait, I'm zoomed all the way out. How about that? That's okay. Alright, and so we've already cleaned those pads. They look pretty shiny. But I am going to just do a little bit of scraping on 1 or 2 of those pads where I see some of that UV solder mask has manifested itself there. Yeah, at the end of the day, what people ended up doing is, hey, you had an expensive computer, they were going to use it. They didn't care how old it was. A lot of schools did the same thing. When I went to middle school, it was well after the Macintosh LC was introduced, but tons of teachers still had them on their desks. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, especially if it cost a lot of money that the school probably did not have. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm sure the ROM had shared assets or something like that. That's interesting, Toru. I'm sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. Let's not hurt ourselves there, Casey. Come on. Don't be silly. Don't anger the moderators. You'll get a Mac when you get a Mac. These stuff ain't going anywhere. Trust me. A lot of this crap's still out there. Just be patient. Be patient. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's all they did. Yeah, they just, you know, Apple wasn't gonna re-engineer things just for the heck of it. That's for sure. Oh boy, why'd you have to tell me that, Mike? That is... No. All right, let's put some caps on these pads. How about that? Nice. All right. Okay, so got that there. You know, when you least expect it, you'll find a computer. I was not looking for a Centrus 650. I'm sorry, what did I just pick up? That was a 7100. I was not looking to get a 7100. Then one popped up with a potential G3 card in it. It was $50. That was too much for me. I thought I already have one of those machines. The guy lowered the price to $25, and I just happened to be in the area at that day. And I picked it up. So you never know. Never know. Alright, first cap on the board is a 10 microfarad 16 volt. That is one of these 8. And we want to make sure that it's oriented correctly. So that stripe is going towards the plus. Like that. And we want to make sure that we have some flux on the board, which we do. Now the tricky thing about these little components is these particular ones are so tiny that there's barely enough room to get them on the pad. So I might have to do a few tricks here to get this sorted. Let me look through the scope here. So I'm scooting that over just so I could see where that pad is on the other side too. Yeah. So that is not the best job, but you sort of have to be creative when you don't have too much room here. And they do make caps that are smaller. I actually did order some. But let me just try and use these if I can. And see, that's also the problem. Your iron has to get right in there. Let's try and do a little wiggle test here. Should be okay. It is proving to be extremely useful. I would agree with that. Even if you're in a tight spot, it seems to help. I'm just trying to get a little more solder on here just to try and keep that on there. I'm also going to adjust this end here just to make sure that it is actually on as best as it can be while there's nothing next to it, you know? That's okay. Should be okay. It looks like we got some solder on the pad there, but that's okay. We will put a cap there and we'll eat all of that up. Yes, I do have a little fan. It is currently not on, so that's not helping, but let's move it around. Let's bring it to the forefront here. It's just this little USB fan, this little pink guy. It'll work. For these components, I prefer to use a soldering iron. For removing them, I prefer to use the hot air station. In some situations, I may swap that around if I have to. But most of the time, this is okay. Most of the time, I'll just use the soldering iron. Again, just my personal preference. Doesn't mean it can't be done the other way. Alright, so time for the second cap here, and this has been a very long and drawn out video, but this is a relaxing Sunday. We had a Tetris break. What more could you ask for? Okay, thankfully that flux helps the cap just sort of stick to the board there. What I will try and do is let me reverse this around actually. No, I should actually do that the other way. I should do the right pad first here, which is gonna be tricky, but yeah, I'll be okay. We're not going to win any beauty contests here, gentlemen and ladies, but And again, my apologies if things aren't pinned sharp on the camera there. I have... the way I'm doing this, I can't really have both be sharp at the same time, at least not right now. Might be able to make adjustments in the future, but at least you're able to sort of see what I'm doing anyway. But we are on the same board, Jay. We put the solder mask in the sun. It dried. We're just putting the caps on now. We took a little break. We were playing Tetris on a different Macintosh. Okay, let's put the right caps on this time. I won't tell you the embarrassing story that I did before. I put the wrong caps on. Alright, alright, so we got this little guy next. Up, good luck, Tech and Music. Okay. Still getting used to trying to find things under this microscope. All right. Yay! Congrats! I hope I am as successful as you are in a few moments. This is a SMD reworkstation 878AD. It is not the best. It is not the worst. It was about $50 on eBay. The brand is Yahua, Y-I-H-U-A. I believe it's... I don't know how to pronounce it. It's one of those ones on eBay. It works pretty well. I'm sure you could find better ones out there, but you know what? It was really my first rework one. I know Jay had a similar model. It does the job. Not too fancy, but you know what? It works. It works, it works, it works. Okay, so time for this guy here. Yeah, my hand is shaking a bit, which is not helping the situation. Okay. Not my best work. Let's see if we can center that a little bit better. That's a little better. I do not have any SGI machines either. I don't know what I'd be able to do with them, so probably maybe it's for the best. I mean, they're awfully cool. Don't get me wrong. But just one of those things that I don't know what I'd do with it. Okay, cool. So we got those 4 done. Ten more to go, I think. Alright, these look pretty good. Alright, so let's do the odd one out first so I don't screw that up again. Casey, you gotta be patient, dude.
Patience, young one.
Okay. I think that's pretty secure. That should be okay. Jay, that is just serious bad luck there. There has to be something else going on. I don't know what. There has to be something else going on. Excellent. So you can hear the sizzle and the pop. I'll try and emulate that with my mouth, but I don't think that's exactly what you're looking for. Sizzle. Pop. Sizzle. Boop. Beep boop. Beep 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 boop boop. Sizzle. Psst. We're still on the same one, but it required some trace repair, and we're just doing a leisurely Sunday stream here. That does not really have as much solder on it as I would like. I don't want to have to redo this machine. Alright, that's a little blobby, but you know what? It's better than nothing. Alright, next. Psst. Sizzle. And while we're there, let's put the other one in too. The other one goes the same way that one did. Probably not enough solder on that tip there. Yeah, that was a little bit. that fan is helping. It is making a difference. Sunday means laundry. Laundry means work. Work bad. Oh, boy. Spin this around. What am I doing? There we go. Nope, that was not too good, Steven. What are you doing? What are you? Oh, your tip was upside down. That's what you were doing. Eh. Try that again. Without too much burning the reset switch there. Ugh, oopsie. That's better. Okay. I think that did it. Da, 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 da. The Mac Classic was a cheapo move by Apple to sell leftover parts and components, I'm sure, from other Macs. You know, Apple just wanted a cheapo system, and it was hindered in every sense of the way by speed and memory and all sorts of stuff. And I think they just wanted to sell a cheap Mac to schools. And you know what they did? They did. Alright, we got a few more caps to do on this side. I just gotta wick them off here, because I didn't do that yet. Let's give us some space here. Oh, we're zoomed out. We already zoomed out. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. It's me, Mario. Oh, that's a horrible impression. Absolutely horrible. Well, that's what you came here for, recapping and horrible impressions. At least I hope, otherwise you're in the wrong spot. Clean up these disgusting little pads here, which has all the old solder from the old pads, the old caps rather. Copper hot. Ugh, just look at all that crap that came off of that one. We have one more over here. Woohoo! All right. Yes, I agree with Mike. The Classic 2 could have been awesome if they didn't... Yeah, Apple was so afraid about cannibalizing their other sales. And rightfully so, but they just made some poor decisions. Good old John Scully and Michael Spindler. Oh, boy. Are we just cleaning these areas? Okay. Now I see a little bit of like a dot here of like this has a little bit of copper showing, but I think that'll be okay. Yeah, I would say the Classic 1 and Classic 2 are a good starter Mac just to mess around with if you really don't care about, you know, and in a retro perspective, you really don't care about anything. You just want to see what the Mac's all about. Maybe you want to play some old black and white games, and you understand the fact that there is no upgrade path, really. I mean, yeah, people came out with cards and stuff like that, but it was really limited. So, all right, so we're ready to put those caps on, I think. Okay. All Macs are beautiful. Just like all Godzillas are beautiful. Okay. That looks like there's a bit of crap under there. Let's get that out of the way. Ew. Again, our cleaner will do a lot of the cleaning, but yeah. Okay, so let's get the most annoying cap in there, which is right next to the ADB port. We do not want to screw up that ADB port. I want to be careful here. So the way I do this is the way I did it on Kate's machine, and I hope I could do it just as well. Now, I might not be able to do this with the microscope in the way, because I have to go at a very high angle here. So forgive me if I'm doing this off camera, which I am. I'll explain what I did in a second. And I got that in a bad spot there. Oh boy. Let's try that again. Let me just finish this one up, then I'll explain what I did. Cool. That's me! Alright, so this cap is annoying to get to because it's right next to the ADB port, so it's very hard to get that iron right in this area. So what I do is I put the iron there, and I push the cap against the iron, and then I see until I could see a little bit of a pad there, and then I'll put that there. Hello, Micro Major Pair. Thanks for joining. Internet browsing is very fun on the SE30. It's even more fun on a Plus. Okay, so that cap's in there. So we have 4 more caps to go. Let's put the little guys in there. These are always tricky because they are almost too small to fit. Almost. Thank you, Micro Major Pair. Yeah, it's a little unfocused, but that's just because my eyes are through a different hole than the camera is. So I need to be able to see it more accurately than it needs to be streamed. But sizzle. Alright, that looks okay. Let's put the other one in. Of course, we're right next to some plastic here, which I do not want to break, but okay, don't think that's too bad. So you could just see, even if I wasn't chatting with you guys here, well, it would go faster, but a lot of work involved in repairing one of these old boards. You know, it's not as simple as just ripping the caps off, putting them back on. A lot of this stuff has been sitting around for years, and the traces and stuff underneath are usually not in that good of a shape. So we had to do some trace repair earlier on this Macintosh Classic 2 logic board, and hopefully that will resolve the problem of this not working. I think, Brian, you picked up some Macintosh Classic 2 machines from the recycling center. Those when we went together that time, right? I wish I had some spare Classic 2 boards, because if Kate's machine still gives me trouble, I might have to just offer her a different board. Offer to sell her a Classic 2 board. But no, let's be confident here. It's only a ground fault issue. If we have to look at every trace on the board, we may have to do that. Nick, I think you are buying all the Macs up in the area, which is good because then that means I don't have to buy them. Alright, this is going to be fun. Right next to this expansion slot here. No, Mackie didn't die. That was Mackie had a cousin. Has a cousin. But that's not what I'm working on today. Different board. Different issue. So that metal here should protect us a little bit. Maybe. Nope. Hold on. I gotta do this out of the area of the microscope because I can't see. Alright. I think that looks okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Alright, last cap, guys. Last cap. I know, you're like, finally, this guy's been going on and streaming for 3 hours and 22 minutes here. Let's see some action. Mackie just transfers around. He is in the cloud, and by cloud you mean a 800 kilobit floppy disk, kilobyte disk. All right, cool. Last cap here. Let's get this show on the road. That was just floating up in the air for a minute. We can't have that. Alright, this will be tricky because it's right next to that battery. We do not want to burn it. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Alright, cool. Now it's time to check our work. Check our work. With the last cap in, we're going to just do a quick check. Make sure everything is in the right polarity, right direction. Pluses are going to plus, minuses are going to minuses, all that fun stuff. Make sure our caps aren't wiggling about willy-nilly. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so here are the ones we did. Positive, 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 positive. Good. Positive, 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 positive. And that's the 50 volt. That's the 50 volt. Yep. And then we look over here. Positive, 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 positive. I think. Maybe. Yep. Positive. Alright, cool. Guys, I think we're ready to test this. What do you guys think? Should we test it? Yes? No? Maybe? So? Oh, well, thank you, David. I'm glad you enjoy your buttons. And again, thank you for the awesome microphone contest, which I swear I did not bribe to win, but I won. And that's the microphone I'm using right now. Okay. All right. Let's test it. So I'm going to turn off the light for this. I'm going to switch cameras. Okay. So. Oh, you can probably hear my neck crack. Whew, boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alright, so, yes, Jay is still sore about that. Let's get our classic on the table again. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful. I have not discharged this because I'm going to be super careful of not touching anything. We'll just take the classic one board out of here. See, you talk smack about Jay and he's just right there. It's very hard to do. We love you, Jay. Okay. So our Classic 1 board comes out. And our Classic 2 board is about to go in. Now, I'm not going to put any memory on this thing or anything because it does have RAM built into the board. So we don't have to worry about that. So I'm just touching up some pools of flux there. In theory, it should not hurt it. But it never hurts to just make sure there's no crap around here. All right. Alright, we got our board in. Ready for a test? Who thinks it's going to work? Who thinks we're going to get a nice loud chime and some encouraging boot thingies? I don't know. Oh boy, it's been a long day. It's gonna work. I like that enthusiasm. Now, I don't have a boot floppy handy, but if it does work, I'll turn it off and we'll find one. Okay. And, where did that mouse go? There it is. It's horrible and disgusting and old, but it will let us know if the cursor works. Alright, everyone. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, come on. Really? Let's try it again. So I hear the floppy go. Like the floppy drive initiates. Oh, we have a very dim vertical line pattern on the screen. Very dim vertical line. Okay. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, this Classic 2 does not have a bodged wire, so I don't know if it requires it or not. Yeah, we are getting a very faint signal on the screen here. Now, that's a very good question. I don't know if... I really don't know if all Macintosh Classic 2 models require that bodged wire, because this one doesn't look like it ever had one. Only one has the bodged wire. Yeah, there are two versions of it. Let's take this board out again. Now, I didn't really... There's some gunk around the chips and stuff. I cleaned off a little bit of it, but I didn't clean all of it. We'll do a quick cleaning, and we'll try again. But this may have to wait for another day. But that is similar to the life that I got on Kate's computer. So let's see what we can do here. Well, we're going to bring our microscope back over here so we can see the good stuff. Yeah, the speaker does pop, which is good. On the other board I did, the floppy makes noise, but the speaker keeps going pop, 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 pop. So it's like trying to start, but it doesn't. So, yeah, where'd that wire go? Here it is. Yeah, there's a lot of gunk, I'm sure, on this thing. Let's take another look. Yeah, let's just get some alcohol here and go to town. Yeah. So I know that this... I have a few boards. Some of them have bodged wire, some of them don't. I don't think this one did. But we will give this a good cleaning. Why not? And this hasn't been through the ultrasonic cleaner yet, so there could just be some goo or some cap juice in a very nasty place, and I just, haven't cleaned it out yet. And that could certainly be causing the issue. But we just don't know. Yes, I can reseat the ROMs. That is something I will do. Now, these ROMs did work. I tested it in another Classic 2 I have. But maybe it was the other ROMs, actually. But I will try swapping the ROMs. I do see some crud. A little bit. On, where'd my scalpel go? Where did the tool go? No! I lost it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, let's, where did you see some exposed copper, my friend? And I will take a look. There's just a little bit of crud on these. Not a lot, but yeah, some of these traces don't look the best, but I mean, upper right under a small chip. Oh, let's take a look. Right there? That is where I forgot to put the solder mask. Ha! But I did put solder over that, so I'll put this back in the sun. If the U6 chip is what you're talking about. That is exactly where I forgot to put the solder mask. Oopsie. Oh, not that. Okay, I'll keep looking. Hold on. Just use nail polish block. Yes. That will work. Yeah, I know it is. Sorry. I'll try and look and just see if I see anything. Was it by a black chip or was it by a cap? Yeah, especially because the chat has a delay. Don't forget, folks. There's like a 4 to 5 second delay sometimes, even if you're on a high latency YouTube stream. I was near the tantalums, okay. Yes, I need to wash the board. It will be going into the ultrasonic cleaner. But I was just testing it before. I'm not seeing any exposed copper, but I could just not be seeing it, that's all. So this, let's call this section 2. Is it by section 2? Or is it by section 1? Section 2? I'm getting everyone dizzy here. Section 1. Let me go look. Okay. Yeah, let me look on this. I haven't cleaned really this side of the board well. Could be section 2. Okay. It could be something shorted out. There might be a solder ball under somewhere. Who knows? Where are we seeing this? So it was higher up on the board. Okay. Oh, I see it. Yep, I see it there. Yep, I forgot to put the solder mask there. There you go. Thank you for letting me know. We will definitely put some solder mask on that, and this little area down there too. Thank you very much for your eyes, MacBoy91 SI. Very much appreciated. Alright, so let's take a look at the other side of the board here. Let's just see. These look okay, but if I'm going to be here, might as well clean it, right? Same goes for this area. Ooh. Yay, I'm helpful! Everyone here has been very helpful. You're cheering me on, etc., etc. Keep me company. Give me the super chats. All this fun stuff. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'd rather have vertical bars on a Mac screen than no life at all, because that at least helps me a little bit. Alright, so let's take these chips off here, which have looked like they've come off before. And these are the little chips that actually have a little window on them to be erased. But thankfully there's that little white label on top of them. Yeah, I need a life too. I have a life. It's all spending time with you and my pals. All my buddies. It's a team effort. Team effort. Hey, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be watching somebody who was, so. Might as well get through my computer backlog. Alright. This one chip didn't want to come out. There we go. Let's take a look. These all seem okay. I see no issues. No corrosion. Nothing. Alright, so we are going to put those back. Let's make sure we put them back in the right spot. Yes, we do, in the right order. There is an order to them. We were just taking the chips out, Mike, the ROM chips out, and just reseating them, just in case. Leaving no stone unturned. Okay. Let's dust this off a little bit. Oi! Where'd my duster go? I need to get one of those electronic ones. Well, the reusable ones. That's a lot of it's a lot of alcohol on this board. Where's my paper towels when I need it? I guess I could use Q-tips, but there's a lot. I was brushing a lot, so I know how it got there, but. So I'm just going to try and clean this up. We'll test it one more time. If that doesn't work well, Doesn't work. But at least we tried. At least we tried. And let's also check that we put the right caps in the right places. Because who knows? I'm not perfect. Five, yep. Plus, 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 plus. Yep. I mean, it could be something as simple as a bad trace under something, but... This thing needs a bath like anything. Oh, boy. Alright, well, you want... Should I try it again, guys? I don't think it's going to do much of a difference, but... We did some scrubbing. What do you guys think? One more go? Yes, no, maybe so. Alright, everyone says try it again. I assure you the Mac is not drunk. We dried off all the drunkenness. If only it was that easy for humans. Use our little fan here. Thankfully, it evaporates very quick. I don't know, Casey. You've only been here for like 3 hours. If you didn't like it, I'd be a little concerned. Yeah, I'm gonna ultrasonic it anyway, but I'm gonna do that off stream because I have to put new chemicals in there and this whole rigmarole. So, but we will do this first. They should be there. I mean, yeah, sure. Let's do our multimeter test. If we insist very quickly. Beepity beep. You know what I could do? I know the caps on this board are in the right spot, so I can compare. Aha! Okay, those seem all right. Okay. 3 hours ago. No. It was more like 3 hours and 47 minutes ago. This is the only board I was working on today. I'm gonna stop after this. I'm not gonna. I have I originally planned to try and fix up my 2CX because my father's coming over, and for years I wanted to fix it up and have him play around with it, but I can't get the darn thing working. Maybe with this bad boy I can, but we are working on a Macintosh Classic 2 board. And we're about to see if our work has paid off. We tried it before. We got some interesting pattern on the screen, but nothing much. We're probably going to be in the same boat because it has not been cleaned yet. But we will try again. Okay. Yeah, I was actually on Ken's old show, the Vintage Apple Vault, for a few episodes, and so was Greg Rucke. I think I was on there for the iMac G4 episode and the Power Mac G3 Blue and White episode. All right. Let's try that again, shall we? No keyboard, no mouse. Let's just plug it in. Yep, no chime. Floppy drive maybe made a noise. Oh, now we got a different pattern. Look at that. Okay. Well, progress? Well, it does have built-in memory. It does have built-in memory. Yes, let's play checkers. That display is nice and crisp, though. Yeah. So, you know, just cleaning it up, we did get a different thing. So what I'm going to do is we will put this in the ultrasonic cleaner. And we are making some progress. But I want to say a sincere thank you to everybody watching today. We had fun. I hope you had fun. I had fun. And, yeah. Oh, my neck is like stiff from playing around with this microscope all day. But, yeah, we do have a semi-working Mac when before there was no signs of life from it. So we're going to keep on working on it. I will put in the ultrasonic cleaner. Maybe we'll give you an update in a few days. I am heavy at work on the Macintosh clone video. There was a preview on my Patreon page. So if you're a patron, even if you only give me a $1 a month or something, you get access to all the cool stuff that's on there. Behind the scenes videos, stuff I never post anywhere else, and all that cool stuff. Yeah, no, I'm not going to work on anything else now. I'm going to work on cleaning up because my father's visiting, and I want to try and get a Mac working for him, but that's going to be boring because I'm just going to be using a multimeter, and that'll turn into another 8 hours, so let's not do that. And I got to go relax. I had that lunch. I didn't have lunch yet. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate all the likes, all the subscribes, all the super chats, all that sorts of fun stuff. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Mac84TV. That is my handle. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. So thank you for watching and spending your Sunday morning and afternoon with me. And yeah, Mike, some of those memory chips look a little weird. So I'm going to probably take them off the board and clean them up. It would not surprise me one bit if that was the cause. But yeah. But thank you, Mike, for looking that up. And I will see you guys later. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.